So what I'm doing right now is I'm scouting for a new spot to sleep tonight and for future nights. I'll come back here at nighttime, see how it is. I know I'm near the river and near some kind of fort. Yeah, so this is it. This is what I thought I was looking for. So if you remember from 3 episodes ago when I was getting ready to come to Winnipeg, one of the reasons why I wanted to come here, apart from seeing the city, was that I wanted to test out whether my van life systems would apply and work just as well in a brand new city I've never been in. Could I pull it off? So let's look at some of the typical problems of van life and how it dealt with them in the Peg. So this is how I look for parking spots to sleep at night. I just cruise around and kind of find one that feels right. In Saskatoon, I have my usual spots because I've been going there for 4 summers in a row. But now here in Winnipeg, this is a new city. I don't know Winnipeg, so I need to learn it. So I've done a bit of scouting digitally, obviously on Google Maps, but I really need to be in the area at night in order to decide if I feel good sleeping here. The fort that we're at earlier today is coming up to the right here. I'm just gonna pull into it. And one interesting thing about this area is that 3 years ago in 2016, which was the first year I thought about coming to Winnipeg, I was in Calgary and I was doing some research online, and I remember discovering this very same area with a fort. And at the time I remember kind of gauging from street view that this really felt like a good area as a potential sleeping zone, but I obviously never came in 2016, and every year I sort of thought about coming, but it just never panned out. So it's kind of nice to be here finally and see it with my own eyes, and it confirms that this area meets the expectations that I had of it in 2016. So this is where I had in mind to sleep today, just literally outside the fort. It's fairly dark here. It's by a nice park, so if I need to go to the bathroom I can. There's a nice view of downtown ahead, nice houses to the left, and the fort behind. So it's a pretty nice spot, and it's right near the river. So I'm gonna pull up and I'm gonna be parked right under the lamp so that the light of the headlamp doesn't go through the windows as much, and that I get more darkness in the back. So this area that I've been sleeping in, the new spot, it turns out it's actually the French area of Winnipeg. And this bakery here is like a French bakery, and it's a good spot to go in the morning, and it's really inexpensive, like $5 for coffee and a croissant. I was sitting there every morning with a lot of people coming in there speaking French, so I realized this must be the French area. So I asked the girls and they said yes it is. And it's interesting because also 3 years ago when I was planning a trip here to Winnipeg, and I found that area where I'm now sleeping regularly, I also found this French bakery, and I realized, like, just based on Google Maps, that it would be a good place to start my day there, you know, like a first coffee shop. And so now I'm fulfilling that vision that I had in Winnipeg 3 years ago. So yeah, this is Saint Boniface. It's a very lovely area, a lot of historical buildings. Today is a lovely rainy day. I love rainy days when I'm doing van life because I can really just enjoy the city and sort of spend my time in coffee shops and not go to the job that I hate so much. Good old Tim Hortons. So the reason why I'm here is because it's 10:30 at night and I don't have anywhere else to go, and I need to charge my phone. So I'm gonna go in there because they're open 24 hours. Hopefully they have chargers in the wall. Often Tim Hortons doesn't. I do have to say just one interesting point about this. In the daytime, you know, when I either work or have coffee shops to hang out in, the homelessness, the fact that I'm without a home temporarily, doesn't really affect me, you know, because I'm busy doing other things. I'm always on my laptop or working. But when comes night and all the coffee shops are closed and there's nowhere really to go, that's where the sort of the homelessness status really hits you, and it can get a little depressing. And Winnipeg, very surprising for a city of like 800,000 people, has no late night coffee shops. All the Starbucks close at 10:30, and so the only thing you're left with is Tim Hortons that are open 24 hours, and they're just the most depressing places, especially at nighttime. I'm gonna go in. If they have chargers, I might stick around for like 45 minutes to charge my phone and then go to sleep. But if not, I think I might just go to sleep. You know, I can wake up early and it's not as depressing as staying out here in this shitty strip mall late into the night. No way. There were plugs, but it was just way too depressing in there, so fuck it. I'm just gonna go to sleep. Then one lonely Saturday night, there was this really good electronic music playing on the radio. So I decided to cruise around the empty city for an hour and enjoy the late night vibes. I did find a late night creperie that was open until midnight, but they had no plugs, so I couldn't sit there with my laptop for very long. The problem of not having a place to hang out in the evenings went on for days. Then I found the perfect spot. It was open till 1 a.m, had plugs, great vibes, and amazing Middle Eastern food. It was called Cafe Ramallah. Great spot. Then one night at Cafe Ramallah, I met this Israeli character and his friend.
שבאתי לקנדה, אוקיי, שלום לכולם. השם שלי אברהם יצחק, אוקיי? באתי לקנדה ב-2004.
אז מה אתה עושה בקנדה?
אני עובד פה בתור ספר.
אתה ספר?
15 שנה כבר.
וואו.
מאוד גאה, מאוד מאוד מרוצה. זה היה זה שלי, איך אומרים? הגיפט מאלוהים, אתה מבין? לכל בן אדם בחיים יש מתנה, נכון?
הגיפט שלי זה לשטוף חלונות.
הגיפט שלי זה להיות ספר, אחי.
איך להיות ישראלי בוויניפג?
סבבה, וויניפג זה בסדר, אחי. Everywhere you go, you gotta eat, you gotta do the same thing again and again. Life is how you make it. אני מדבר עכשיו מכל הלב, אוקיי? כמה דקות אפשר לדבר?
כמה שאתה רוצה.
In life, we all have stress, we all have misery. Why to keep it in your heart if you can open to someone you can talk to? Have a cup of coffee, אוקיי? זה לחיים. And sit and talk to someone. לפעמים יש אנשים שמפחדים לפתוח את הלב. למה? צריך לשפוך את הלב. יש עדיין מישהו שמה, או מישהי, שתמיד אוהב לשמוע. יום טוב לכם. Thank you.
Anyone who knows me well or see my vlogs will know that I love coffee shops and spend a lot of time in them. This is even more the case when I'm doing van life. I highly depend on them. They're my main source of Wi-Fi, and obviously coffee. Here in Winnipeg, I've spent a lot of time in coffee shops, editing my vlogs, studying the city, what amenities there are, and potential working areas. When you live in a van, you can't study the city enough. You have to continuously learn it. So obviously living in a minivan, I highly depend on supermarkets, and this is my favorite one, the Superstore. It's a famous supermarket across Canada, and it has great deals and all kinds of options. I'd say the biggest challenge of living in a minivan is not being able to cook. It's more than the discomfort. I can handle the discomfort, but not having enough vegetables in my diet really gets to me, and eating too much bread. Speaking of bread, it's on sale. Maybe I'll get a whole wheat this time, so it's a bit healthier. I think tonight salad might be a good idea. And I will often get tomatoes to supplement the salad. These ones are good. Only $5. Sometimes I get hummus, but store-bought hummus is so terrible. But sometimes I do eat it. Ooh, $3. When I'm in Saskatoon, the rabbi's wife graciously lets me use their laundry whenever I need it, even in the evening so I don't have to miss work. But in Winnipeg, the solution is pretty straightforward. I just have to do it during business hours, that's all. But if I have a few items that I need desperately, then good thing I'm a window washer because I have my own bucket, soap, gloves, and access to water from the hose taps at the houses where I work. So one van life challenge is garbage. I always keep all my garbage in this one plastic bag to keep my van nice and clean. And the challenge is that at night I always have to find good places to dump it secretly because sometimes they're too big to dump in like a public garbage bin. So I will always look out for garbage bins in alleys so that I can dump them. So apparently I have a relative in this city which I didn't know about. My mom just told me about him a couple of days ago, and so I contacted him, and right now I'm gonna go meet him for tea, see what this guy's about. I just had a meeting with a relative of mine and we talked until 10 p.m. in this tea house, and I planned to come to the superstore for food after, and I totally forgot that all the supermarkets in town close early because of the holiday. A superstore always stays late till 11, so I didn't even consider the possibility, but basically I'm hungry and I have no food in the car, so I have to figure out what to do. I think McDonald's is nearby, but this is one of the challenges of living in a van, is like you're so dependent on the facilities of the city, and so you really need to be on top of it, of what times they open, when they close, what holidays affect them, and this is where I dropped the ball. Totally did not foresee this, so I think it's on to McDonald's. I think this is a much better option because at least, you know, it's not so heavy. I got some vegetables. It's already 10:20 p.m. and so if I eat something heavy like McDonald's, it's gonna feel like shit tonight. So I'm gonna get like a 6-inch sub with lots of vegetables, and I think that will solve my solution for tonight. Had I been any later, they would have closed, so I really lucked out this time. On to the gym for my nightly shower. So as per my usual drill, I come out of the shower all nice and clean, and then head back to the van to go to my sleeping spot for the night. And what I do is when I get into the van, I always jump to the back. So I'll always hang my towel on my cleaning poles. That's my towel rack for, you know, by tomorrow it'll be dry. And then the bed always gets a little messy, so then I'll just kind of tidy it up. Put on socks, shoes, hop to the front, and then drive to my sleeping spot. And that's my drill for the night. Okay, this I can't put. there's mothers and kids watching.
Why?
You asked them to be here.
Yeah, no, you're right. Okay,